Hi, my dear students. I am welcoming you to the Prcc classes. And now we are already completing so many concepts in the first unit of Prcc. So now we have to be discussing regarding the concept called as interpersonal relationship. Regarding the concept called as interpersonal relationship, ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳು ಎಂದರೇನು? It is a 2 marks question. 2016 they asked for 2 marks question. Here, what is meant by interpersonal relationship? What is meant by interpersonal relationship? Here, what is meant by interpersonal relationship is nothing but interpersonal relationship may be understood as the understanding between two or more persons which happens through conversation or through body language to have relationship to achieve some goal or to solve some challenging problem or for carrying out daily routine. See, and simply what we have to be telling about interpersonal relationship. So interpersonal relationship, it means it is an understanding between two or more persons. Why? What happens here? Because of the a good relationship to achieve the goals and objectives or to solve the challenging problems in our life, we should understand, we should maintain understanding between two or more persons. That is simply what we call as coordination. Coordination is very, very essential. Ego, selfishness is not good for each and every situation. Therefore, interpersonal relationship is nothing but it is a mutual understanding between the two or more persons to achieve the good goals and to solve the challenging problems. So this is what we call as interpersonal relationship. Here, another meaning also they are given. Another meaning also they are given. What it means? Interpersonal relationship, what it means here? Interpersonal relationships exist between two or more persons who interact and fulfill one or more physical and emotional needs. Emotional needs. So it means not only the inter relationships is nothing but it is not only understanding between two or more persons, it is also means that two or more persons are interacting, but each other they are satisfying their physical and emotional needs. It is very, very essential. Why? Because human beings having so much of emotions, that is sympathy, happy, sadness, egoism, angry. So each and every type of emotional aspects, one who understanding us, uh, our emotional wants and needs, those persons what we called as is a close friend of me. So this is what I telling that. So interpersonal relationships is not only understanding between two or more persons. It is a interaction. It is a fulfillment of one or more persons physical or emotional needs. This totally what we called as interpersonal relationships. So these two meanings gives the more reliable information, reliable meaning about the interpersonal relationship. So in Kannada, ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳು. ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಮತ್ತು ಎರಡಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಒಂದು ಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಕಾರ್ಯದಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ನಿರಂತರವಾದ ಕಾರ್ಯದವರೆಗೆ ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಬಾಂಧವ್ಯವನ್ನ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ, ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಎರಡು ಅಥವಾ ಎರಡಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು, ಅವರು ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಪುರುಷರೇ ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿ, ಸ್ತ್ರೀಯರೇ ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದು ಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಕಾರ್ಯದಿಂದ, ಒಂದು ಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಕಾರ್ಯದಿಂದ ನಿರಂತರವಾದ ಕಾರ್ಯದವರೆಗೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಅನಿಯಮಿತವಾದಂತಹ ಕಾರ್ಯ, ಎಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಆದರೂ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಅಪೂರ್ವವಾದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಬಾಂಧವ್ಯವನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅದು ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಸ್ನೇಹಮಯ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇದು 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. 2016 ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ next we are moving here, forms of interpersonal relationships. Forms of interpersonal relationships. Forms of interpersonal relationship. What are the different types of interpersonal relationships? Why? Because all relationships we are not calling it's a interpersonal relationship, but such relationship what we are calling as interpersonal relationships, ಆ ಒಂದು ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, the first one is individual working together in the same organization. Individuals, they are working together in the same organization is nothing but individual persons. They are the employees of the organization, means they working in the same organization. That persons what we called as colleagues of the same organization, co-workers of the same organization. So in this situation, because of they are colleagues, they are the coordinators, they are the colleagues persons in the same organization, means so they also having the interpersonal relationships. ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ತಾವು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಹತ್ರ ಅವರು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂತಹ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಸಹ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನ ವೃದ್ಧಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ವೇ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಇದು ಒಂದು ವಿಧ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಹುದು. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಹಿಯರ್, people working in the same team, they are also has the interpersonal relationship. People working in the same team is nothing but those people who are working for the common goals and common objectives. That type of people, they are working in a particular group or team, means in that team they are having 9 members, 10 members or 5 members in their group or in their team. All those 5 members, they has the mutual understanding. That is what we called as interpersonal relationships. This is also one of the type of interpersonal relationship. After that, the third one here, relationship between man and woman. Relationship between man and woman also a type of interpersonal relationship. In this type of interpersonal relationship, what happens here? Either they may be the couples, either they may be a husband and wife relationship, either they may be a love or the love relationship, either any type of relationship. So those relationship between the man and woman, it is also what we called as interpersonal relationship. After that, the next one is fourth one here. So the fourth one tells us a relationship with family members and relatives. So family members and relatives also, they has the interpersonal relationship. So therefore, it is what we called as interpersonal relationship is nothing but, so the family members, relatives also has the interpersonal relationships. So they are also the coordinators in the life. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕುಟುಂಬದ ಜೊತೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಬಾಂಧವ್ಯ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಬಂಧಿಕರ ಜೊತೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಬಾಂಧವ್ಯ. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಒನ್ ಹಿಯರ್, relationship of a child with his parents. This is also one of the type of interpersonal relationship. What happens here? Their parents has a great interpersonal relationship with their children. Why? Because children are believed and each and every internal things and thoughts, opinions they are sharing with their parents only. In that situation, what happens here? Because of the child and parents relationship, parents and children's relationship, this is also one of the type of interpersonal relationships. After that, the sixth one here, interpersonal relationship between friends. This is also one of the type of the interpersonal relationship. What happens here? Friends, they are called as a close relationship. Sometimes we are telling that, so he is my close friend, she is my close friend. What happens here? Close is nothing but that is what we call as interpersonal relationship. Means the interpersonal relationship between the friends, also called as, it's a type of interpersonal relationships. It is popularly called as IPR, interpersonal relationships. ಅದು ಮೈಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ನೀವು. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ IPR, ಇಂಟರ್ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್, next we are moving on. The most important question here, essentials of interpersonal relationships. Essentials of interpersonal relationships. Here, what is meant by essentials of interpersonal relationship is nothing but, here essentials of interpersonal relationships has two. The most one, here, effective communication. So first of all, what is meant by communication? This is very, very important. What is meant by communication is nothing but, communication is a formal or informal. It is a tool to express our ideas, thoughts, beliefs from one person to another person. And simply, communication is nothing but exchange of thoughts, opinions, beliefs. So here they telling us effective communication. What it means? Effective communication is nothing but effective communication between the persons concerned can develop the relationship. It is very essential to maintain a good personal relationship. What happens here? Because of the effective communication, each and every information they are sharing, each and every information they are sharing, that is what we call as effective communication between persons. It develops the relationship. When we are communicating formally, they are also communicating formally. When we are communicating informal, they are also communicating informal. So this type of communication is very, very essential. So without effective communication, you can't accept someone's ideas, someone's thoughts, someone's opinions. So therefore, effective communication is very, very essential. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಪಡಿಸೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯವಶ್ಯಕವಾದಂತಹ ಅಂಶಗಳು ಯಾವ್ಯಾವು? ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಪಡಿಸೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯವಶ್ಯಕ ಅಂಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮವಾದಂತಹ ಪರಿಣಾಮಕಾರಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಸಂವಹನ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು. ಸಂವಹನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯಗಳನ್ನ, ಭಾವನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಮುಕ್ತವಾಗಿ ಹಂಚಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಸಂವಹನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್. What is meant by communication gap is nothing but it is a barrier to the effective communication. They can't listen you, they can't spell what you are pronouncing. So it is very, very difficult to understanding. Without effective communication, we can't maintain the interpersonal relationship. And the second one is mutual trust, paraspara nambike. Here, mutual trust is nothing but what happens here. Mutual trust is nothing but a mutual trust between the associated individuals improves the relationship. If the trust fails on one side, so hampers the relationships. What happens here? Mutual trust, paraspara nambike, between the associated individuals or two or more persons, it improves the interpersonal relationship. If there is no mutual relationship, there is no belief. They can't believe. I am not believing you, you not believing me. In that situation, it is a lack of trust in between us. Lack of trust in between us. So like these situations, it is very, very difficult to maintain their mutual trust. So therefore, without trust, it fails on one side, also hampers means break up their relationships. And the third point tells us individual in an interpersonal relationship must share common goals. Must share common goals and objectives. Yes, it is also a very, very important point here. So what happens here? Individuals, they must and should maintain the interpersonal relationship when they are sharing their common goals, their common objectives. It is also one of the essential element of interpersonal relationship. After that, the next one here. The next one here, individual in an interpersonal relationship must respect each other's views, values, and opinion. What happens here? In the interpersonal relationship, each and every person, either me or you, so each and every person, they must and should respect each other's views. If you telling me something is good or it is better, so I am also respecting your views. If I am telling you some my opinions, my thoughts, beliefs, ideas, you should also respect me. Without you respecting me, keeps on you are blaming me, keeps on you are irritating me. So what happens in that situation? Our internal relationship must be collapsed. Our internal relationships must be collapsed. Therefore, this is the very, very important element here. We must and should respect each other's opinions, thoughts, beliefs. So therefore, it is also one of the important element. After that, the next point here, individuals must be attached to each other for a healthy interpersonal relationship. So what happens here? When the individual persons, they must and should maintain the attachment to each other. So it also creates the healthy interpersonal relationships. After that, the next point is, and the last point is transparency. Last point is transparency. So what is meant by the transparency? What is meant by the transparency? Here, transparency is nothing but it plays a very, very important role, a major role. A transparency plays a very, very important role and a major role in enhancing. Enhancing means increasing the relationship. If the transactions that take place between people in personal or in professional life are must and should transparent, means exact information. It strengthens the relationship. It developments our interpersonal relationship. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧವನ್ನ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗೊಳಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಅವನ ವೃತ್ತಿಪರ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಅವನ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಅಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅವನು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪರೆನ್ಸಿನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಏನಿದೆಯೋ ಅದನ್ನ ನಿಜವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದು ಇರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ನಿಜವಾದಂಥ ಅಕ್ಯುರೇಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅವನು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಆಗ ಮಾತ್ರನೇ ಇಂಟರ್ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದು ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್. The next concept here, it is most important concept, significance of interpersonal relation in professional life. Significance of interpersonal relationships in professional life. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಪಡಿಸಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವೃತ್ತಿಪರ ಮತ್ತು ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ನಾವು ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಪಡಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ it is very, very important here. In this, an individual spends around 8 to 9 hours in his organization, and it is practically not possible for him to work all alone. We need people to talk to and to share our feelings. ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So what they are telling us. So in an organization, you think in an organization 8 to 9 hours working, is it possible? No, it is not possible. So when we are working alone, it is too difficult. Why? Because in some situation it is very boring for us. So in that situation, what happens here? We need some people to share our thoughts, to share our opinions. Why? Because the human being is a social animal. He is not a jungle animal. So therefore, he is must and should need some people to talk, some people to associate and sharing their feelings. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇವತ್ತು ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳ ಮಹತ್ವ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಮತ್ತು ವೃತ್ತಿ ಬದುಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ವೃತ್ತಿ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳ ಮಹತ್ವ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಏಕಾಂಗಿಯಾಗಿ 8 ರಿಂದ 9 ಗಂಟೆಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಒಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಸಹೋದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳು ಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವನ ಉತ್ತಮ ಯೋಚನೆಗಳನ್ನ, ಅವನ ಉತ್ತಮ ನಿರ್ಣಯಗಳನ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಹಂಚ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಉದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳು ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಭಾವನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಹಂಚ್ಕೊಳ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಕೆಲಸದ ಅಸಂತೃಪ್ತಿ ಉಂಟಾಗುವಂತಹ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ, ವೆರಿ ಎಸೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ದ interpersonal relationship. In that, the first one here, is a single brain alone cannot take all decision alone. See what they are telling us. A single brain is nothing but a single person, individual person. They are telling us individual person alonely. We need people to discuss various problems, evaluate the pros and cons. What is meant by pros? Pros is nothing but advantages. Cons is nothing but disadvantages. And reach to solutions benefiting not only the employees but also the organization. On whole, employees can brainstorm together and reach to better ideas and strategies. What happens here? A single brain alone cannot take any decision. We need peoples. Why? Because we don't know all concepts. Some people they know the concepts, they tells us this is the advantages of that concept. And some people tells us this is the disadvantages of that particular concept. So what happens here when we are communicating with others, other employees, it is also benefited to the organization also, not only for our profession, not only for our personal life, it is also useful to the organization. When all employees or the complete employees, entire employees, they're discussing certain concept means they getting the better ideas, better plans. So therefore, it is very, very essential should maintain the interpersonal relationship. A single person alone cannot take right decisions. See, after that, the second one here, after that, the second one here, interpersonal relationships has a direct effect on the organization culture. The organization culture. See what they are telling us. See what they are telling us. Misunderstandings and confusion leads to negativity at the workplace. Conflicts lead you now here and in turn spoil the work environment. See what happens when we are not communicating each other, it leads misunderstanding. There is a lack of confusions. Each and every situation they are looking as a negative person. See, in this situation, the entire organizational objectives, organizational thoughts, organizational opinions will be collapsed, will be spoiled. So therefore, it is must and should we should maintain the interpersonal relationship. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ವೃತ್ತಿ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾವು ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಹೋದ್ಯೋಗಿಯನ್ನ ಮಾತಾಡೋದಿಲ್ವೋ ಅಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಅಪನಂಬಿಕೆ, ಒಂದು ಅನುಮಾನ, ಸಾಮರಸ್ಯದ ಕೊರತೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲದರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಉದ್ದೇಶಗಳು ಹಾಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. And after that, next we are moving on. The most important point here, the most important point here, we need people around who can appreciate our hard work and motivate us from time to time. So what they are telling us here, we need people who appreciate for our hard work. Why? Because it is a very, very essential co-workers. In nowadays, we can't see the workers who appreciate us. Nowadays, only we are seeing the ego people, irritating people, haters, each and every person who is not appreciating us, and each and every situation they blaming us. See what they are telling us, we need people around who can appreciate our hard work means it is also motivate us, and the interpersonal relationships also develops. Because of interpersonal relationship only they are appreciating us. After that, the next point here, the next point here, it always it always pays to have individuals around who really care for us. So we need colleagues to fall back on at the time of crisis. If you do not talk to anyone at the workplace, no one would come to your help when you actually need. See, each and every situation is not favorable for us. It is very, very difficult for us. In each and every problems, we need someone help. So therefore, each and every individual person must and should really care about. Why? Because without having the close persons, helpful persons around for us, we feel that it is alone for us. Therefore, it is very, very essential to maintain the interpersonal relationship in that situation. So they are really care for us. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಪಡಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ವೃತ್ತಿಪರವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಗಮನವನ್ನು ವಹಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಹಲವಾರು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಬಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳಿಂದ ತೆಗೆದುಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. After that, the last point is the last point is an individual needs to get along with fellow workers to complete assignments within the stipulated time frame. See, what it means each and every individual person, they doesn't know the entire work. Why? Because some are efficient and excellent in some work, but some people, they are not excellent in some work. They need someone's help, they need someone's guiding. So in that situation, what happens here, each and every fellow workers, they are very, very essential to complete our assignment task within a given time, given period. So therefore, when we maintain the interpersonal relationship, the each and every workers, they are coming forward and to help for us. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ವೃತ್ತಿಯ ಹಾಗೂ ಸಮೂಹದ ಒಂದು ಉದ್ದೇಶಗಳನ್ನ ಗುರಿಗಳನ್ನ ಸಾಧಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಒಂದು ಉದ್ದೇಶಗಳನ್ನ ಸಾಧಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಕಾರಿಯಾಗುತ್ತೆ. These are all the points tells us the importance or significance of interpersonal relationships.